pull it off one way or the other. And that's an inside story. That's it.
That's the whole fact. So
Yes.
good morning, good people. The shenanigans have stopped. We are here with two Ketas and a shot of gin podcast, broadcast, whatever you actually want to call it. And the reason we wanted to do this, well, as you can see, is that we're having people anyway, but we want to do this because it is time to cut through the clutter, or really should I say, is it clutter or all the noise?
The noise.
Yeah, the noise is so real right now. So our goal was to just come on and share some insights. And as you can see, there might just be a couple of jokes because these two are a little bit goofy. So I'm Marquita Woods, affectionately known as the Queen of Mortgages. Been running around being blamed as the lender for 21 years. So I definitely have some insights to share about mortgage, real estate, and anything else. And then we'll see who the next person over to us is. What is it? Agent for the people?
You got to throw the sign.
Yeah, throw the sign up. You got gang signs.
That's right. That's right. I'm Jennifer Thorne, your agent for the people. I'm here to have fun and to, as Marquita mentioned, to just basically kind of help put some clarity to all the noise that we hear and to kind of help you guys come down off the ledge a little bit. We hear all of this on the news because obviously news sells, right? We heard about fake news, but we want to keep it real here. That's where we are. And that's my story today.
Yes, and I am the other Kita. To the two Ketas and a gin, and a shot of gin. So
shot.
So
shot. I don't even drink shots.
I'm the other real estate person here, been running around in Prince William County, Northern Virginia, DMV for a long time. Looking forward to the show, looking forward to just, being real and telling the truth. And even though sometimes the truth might hurt, so we just want to keep it real and cut through the noise and just help everyone meet their goals.
One of the first things I want to point out is the fact that as we've just introduced ourselves, but both Nikita and I are realtors. And one of the things we wanted to is let you guys know, we do work together out here. We're not adversaries and we don't need to be adversaries. And it's enough out here, families and folks out here for us to serve and help. And just because we both are realtors, we can definitely sit down and have a conversation and not be adversarial, because at the end of the day, it's all about the common good. And then we've got the queen over here. She's got a scepter somewhere, I'm sure, right? But she will, or whatever.
Yeah. What do you say? Beat you or bless you?
There you go.
I'm going to do both. Here's the funny part about it, though, for real. And I love that you said that, because we said we were going to call this clearing up the clutter. And part of that clutter you just kind of talked about is collaboration.
Yeah,
over competition. So I definitely appreciate that from the perspective of you two being two agents that are willing to collaborate. We definitely don't see that as much on the lending side. So that's very good. And at the end of the day, we tell people they're going to get in a home. Fluffy gonna be running around in the backyard, hamburger helper for dinner, and they ain't gonna be thinking about you. But you around here acting crazy with each other, and you're gonna have a situation because you're gonna see us again in these real estate streets. We ain't going nowhere.
That's it.
That's why it's better to have collaboration over competition. So that's part of what this was about. So we really just want to come live today with our kind of kickoff, kind of give you our why. But I would love for you to drop in the comments anything you want to know about real estate. It doesn't even have to be real estate, because like I said, the Lions have the best record in the NFL right now. Don't hate. I'm just saying, like, they have the best record in the NFL. That's a fact, right? But speaking about facts, another reason why we wanted to jump on and actually talk is there is so much fake news. And for me, facts trump fear.
Yeah.
Right?
She actually said,
come on.
That's true. Collaboration over competition.
Over fear. Is that better, Jen? That's better.
Yes.
Thank you. So we need to share the facts. And unfortunately, another reference is that we have a lot of fake news. Yes, that's
It's
one of
true
those-
though, that's real talk.
Real
Talk.
talk.
Jeez, I'm like, if you say to keep it 100, we have
That's
a
what
lot
we
of
are.
fake news.
Yeah.
And how can we say news
but
is
you-
fake? What?
Sometimes
Some.
your own family member is giving you the fake.
Your own family members.
Mhm.
It's because, but they really think they know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They mean well.
Yeah.
And that's why I say good intentions really ain't nothing. But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah.
So what were we talking about?
We're talking about
Fake news.
fake news,
Fake
and
news.
keeping it real,
And keeping it real.
facts.
Yeah. What do you think? What's happening in the market right now from your perspective, though?
On the lender side,
On the lender
because
side. On
we
the
can
lender
tell you,
side.
yeah.
Listen, people chat in the comments that y'all could care less about mortgages. Just be 100.
Look at this.
So
We
mortgage,
care.
you know, they want a house. What they get from me
Well,
is what you need.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not, you can
But-
get the mortgage.
But without you, there will be no house.
Ain't that a fact?
Unless they got
Unless
some
they-
mattress money, somebody,
Hey.
Uncle Louis done passed away and left them an inheritance, that is just not gonna happen. So these go hand in hand. That is fact.
Can I get an interest rate of 5% now? Sherelle Higgins, yes, you can. I got you. We can talk about it. It's gonna cost you a gazillion trillion dollars, but certainly I can buy down your interest rate to 5%. Call me on Monday. I got your back.
Hey, you know what? To that point, you
What?
know what? Now this is a lender thing. So, there was a time when we would say, especially when the rates really started to take off,
Uh-huh.
we talked about, maybe you can do an adjustable, get in the house. But from what I'm understanding, adjustables, and say if I'm a first time home buyer or I'm using an FHA financing, those rates are running pretty much close together. Or is that fake news?
That is not fake news.
Mhm.
Good job, Jen. So, I mean, really right now, the spread between fixed rates and adjustables is not worth the risk, in my opinion. But this is
Right.
my personal opinion. And this is why we need to talk, because real estate is specific to each person.
Yes.
Right now, if you want a great adjustable rate mortgage called an ARM, no muscles.
Not doing that. We already
I know,
talked about-
right?
We already talked
Oh,
about
my
that.
Anyway.
The other key to.
I'm saving them, but
Are they tight?
All right,
They
so I
tight.
guess we seeing guns on the next episode, but anyway,
Tight good.
if you want an adjustable rate mortgage, the best way to go for that, best place to go for that would be a credit union. So just keeping it
Yes.
100. So it's going to be a credit union that's going to service the loan. So those spreads work a little better. So in the right situation, though, an adjustable rate mortgage is perfect. You
Yeah.
just need to know what your buying plan is.
Absolutely.
So speaking of that, the market has been real crazy. You were asking me something about it. And I just think it's two things driving that. And I think we all know what they are. But if you don't, there's a shortage of homes.
Supply
You
and
need to go list some more houses, man.
supply and demand.
Right.
Well, here's
Well,
the
you
thing.
need some more supply. I need y'all to come on now.
Own market inventory. You got-
Hey, well, what are you doing to get some? I need that.
Well, yeah, well, we're having these conversations right
Right
now,
now.
right
That's
now.
right.
This is
So-
what we're doing. We're collaborating to share
Okay.
facts and so this is leading me into this next question, since we
Sure.
got the queen here.
Okay.
So, we hear the noise that, and, the top folks out here, the top 8, we got our NAR, Fannie, MBA. I know this may sound like industry jargon.
Because it is.
Mortgage Bankers Association, you got Zillow, and all of these folks giving predictions.
Okay.
Prediction is, I think it was the chief economist at NAR, I believe, said a few days ago, that he sees the rates possibly being around 6 in the spring of next year. But anyway, we've got a whole lot of stats that we'll probably share with you guys and drop some slides.
No, I came
but-
prepared because I knew you were going to go
Good
there.
girl, good.
Everybody wants to talk about
The
interest rate.
interest rate. But one
So-
thing I want to say this, though, this is where I'm going with my question.
Mhm.
So, one thing we know, because fake news kept telling us the housing market is going to fall. It's going to,
Man.
that, oh my God, the sky is falling and the prices are going to drop. And everybody's like, oh no, I'm not going to sell because I'm afraid, my house, I'm not going to buy, I'm not going to buy because rates are going to drop. The values of the homes are going to fall. But what we've learned and what we know, and if you watch any of my videos, that ain't happened. And that's not going to happen. But the potential of rates coming down now is the conversation. So you
Okay.
talked about the pent up, the housing and the fact that we don't have homes out there because we do have buyers that want to buy, even at the high rates. But what do you think will happen if rates do come down? And just from the mortgage perspective, do you think sellers are going to kind of loosen up their willingness to go ahead and sell? Because rates are getting lower. We know most of the sellers nowadays, homeowners probably have these lower rates, right?
That's a great question.
We'll stop there.
Yeah,
I can keep going on and on and on. No, I got so much to share, but
This show
Hey.
is only 30 minutes.
I know, and we kicked off late. Yeah.
So that's a great question, dissertation. I like it a lot. But here's the thing that we also know about predictions. You can't predict anything, right? You cannot predict anything. So I'm giving my disclaimer. Don't be on here hitting me on the DM later saying that you said, but you are correct. The National Association of Realtors and the major indices do believe rates are going to be in the sixes in Q1 of 2024. So Q1 is the beginning of the year. And what we found far as all of this data, because they know everything about us, that the real tipping point for people that want to sell their homeowners that are basically married to their rate. And I see why they're married to it. 70.7% of mortgage rates that are on homes are less than 4% in America right now.
Right now.
So, I mean, we be booed up too. Like, I'm not going anywhere, but these people have also said though, that 1 in 4 homeowners are considering selling in the next 3 years. And that's based on a survey they did quarterly of people that own homes. So 1 in 4. So we're like 3 years though, that's a long time to wait. However, the one group that said they don't care about mortgage rates, you know who it is. Who?
Baby boomers.
Millennial.
The baby boomers.
The boomers, they got money.
The baby boomers have
They-
money.
they
These
got money, they
millennials
got
live in
equity.
they live in the basement right now.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
those,
they're the ones coming out trying to come out of the basement. They scared.
the millennials have been resilient.
And they
But the baby boomers said they don't really care about interest rates, right? They just need to be able to find the house that's going to suit their needs to make the next move because they got the cash to put down.
Absolutely.
So that's a great thing to know, but it makes it hard for our
That's
millennials.
some
though.
inventory right there.
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, that's
Like
who-
those baby.
There you go. There
That's
you
it.
go.
That's
So,
it.
yeah. So, Credit Karma says 1 in 4 US homeowners say high rates will not deter them from selling. So there will be some more inventory, et cetera. I think the question was on here, was it a buyer's or seller's
Right,
market?
and
It
it
is
was
100% a seller's market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marquita, though, think about it though. Remember, you've been around for a long time, Jennifer. When you first came in, what was the mortgage rate? 20 something
Oh,
years.
good point.
Yeah,
good
just
point.
think about it. And people were still buying and people were still selling.
And the house that we live in currently, when we bought at 8. And we thought we were doing well. That
That was predatory lending.
that was predatory to them. It was- Yeah. And then we turned around and got another property and then felt like, oh, when it came down to 6, actually it was like 6.7 something. And we were like, yeah, when they do it, girls. We're gonna get to your questions in a minute, but
7% when I bought my first home in 2002, and I was elated.
yeah.
So I just, gave you some ideas on what we think will happen that,
Well,
it's just the homeowners are married to their rates right now.
They are.
But I do think we're going to see that
Sellers had to bring money to the table.
to help the
to
buyers.
the buyer to sell the home.
Remember that?
So.
going back there.
Oh,
Oh,
Brought y'all biblical. No, it was a great program. Yeah, you remember it? Yeah.
wow.
it crashed.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay, we know.
exactly.
Okay.
We're not, because the market is not going to crash. Let me just make sure that is disclosed. Hey, there's a question out there. What is a good credit score to get the best rate? That's a great question, Miss Higgins.
To get the absolute best rate, you want that credit score to be at 740 above if you're using conventional loans. If you're using government type financing, FHA, USDA, VA, I would say 640 is the lowest before you start to see an improvement in the rate, if that makes sense. But 740 and above, and not 740 Credit Karma.
But
Yes.
Marquita, but if I got good credit
Yes.
and I have a good job, but I don't have, I can't save, so I don't really have the money to like do the down payment. Can I still buy a house though? Will I still get a good rate, or because I don't have the savings?
No.
Okay.
All right, next.
All right, next question.
But I got good credit.
You got good
I mean,
credit.
I know. And that commercial on Credit Karma told you to show up and just put my score out. You can do that. To get you a new car.
Yeah.
But you cannot get
You
that.
need
You
some money.
can't do that to purchase the arguably best investment
Absolutely.
in America,
Absolutely.
which is real estate. I
Absolutely.
mean, matter of fact, I came ready with statistics today. So part of the clutter and the noise is you're going to have to know your why,
Oh,
right? What is your second letter from the last in the alphabet? What is your why?
what is your why?
What is your why? Why are you trying to buy?
Generation Z?
Yeah.
Right? Or else you're going to fall back, right? But let's say, I don't know what it is, but the average American will gain most of their wealth through home ownership.
Yeah.
But you know, I know y'all are not who are
Real estate
watching.
is still the cornerstone of generational wealth,
Absolutely.
Right.
100%.
Well, we got to get a generation started.
but it's a long game. And
Oh,
unfortunately,
yeah.
what happens is people think, you know, they still have that short-term mentality, but real estate is actually a long game.
Absolutely.
I would agree. But
Like the stock market, you know,
Really?
absolutely. You can't just expect that. I mean, what we've experienced these last few years really has been, you know, unusual, where rates and I mean, interest equity and home prices and just exploded. But at the end of the day, over time, just like anything, it definitely is the safer investment.
okay.
Absolutely. Another question. Nikita, I'm going to let you answer this one. Sherelle says, if I want to sell my house, what should I be thinking about to get my house ready?
Oh, wow, that's a good. To get the house ready, you should be thinking about, number one, am I ready to sell? What's your plan if you sell? Where are you gonna go? Like, what's the plan after that? Is my finances, can I afford to have 2 mortgages if my house doesn't sell right away? Do I want to, how long can I stay in this house? Can it be worked out if I need to rent my house back until I build, if you want a new build, if you want to build a house? Do I have to repair? Are there repairs? Does my house need to be painted or cleaned? So the best thing to do really is to get with your professional, real estate professional, and let them actually go over numbers and actually create a plan. Because I've seen so many people try to do it themselves, but it's a lot of moving parts to selling your house, particularly if you want to buy another house.
So you get your house, you got that in order. You definitely are in a position, you're ready to move forward. It's a must. Job relocation. Let's just throw that out there. What do I need to do to my house now? What are the main things that need to happen to my house in order to get it on the market? I know my numbers, I'm good.
Got to get it cleaned, look at repairs, maintenance.
Deferred maintenance.
Can I chime in?
Sure.
Just like we said, cut through the clutter.
Because really, as a seller,
Number one.
as a seller, you think your house is like, can be going on the market today, but if I walk in as your real estate agent, I'm looking at it from what buyers might see, and they might not like, 1,000 colors, or
what if I just wait and decide, and if they want to buy my house, and then I'll let them decide if they want me to paint, and then I can change the color, because they're going to want to paint anyway. So why don't I just let them choose the color?
You know what? Let's look at the numbers. In that case, I would say, hey, let's look at the numbers. If you do X, Y, and Z versus if you want to put it on the market like that, and then you may spend $10,000 to paint, carpet, and do some things, and it could net you another 20-25,000.
That's what you mean by looking at the numbers.
Yes, look at the.
So in some cases, what if it is? So would you call that an improvement that It's definitely going to give me a return.
You're right, because not
But-
all improvements give you a return. If you run out and, paint colors that you think.
Well, I just got a new HVAC system and I just put a new roof on my house.
I mean, that makes a difference. A roof, those are things, honestly, roof, HVAC. Your buyers expect those things now, because when they're looking at your home, they're actually comparing you, unbeknownst to you, they're comparing your home to model homes. Because all buyers go around and they look at model homes. So then when they come in your home, they want to know that those things are done. So they expect those things. So the fact that you put in those things, yes, that's a bonus and that does mean something, but buyers do expect those things in this current market.
Turnkey. Well, we've already said that the home prices are up.
An actual roof, they
An-
expect that,
They
right?
You know,
Like the HVAC
Yeah.
system, it's been 98 degrees
Yeah.
oppressive around.
If you get a
used it.
1979 house, they expect it.
It's 2000, a
Well,
one house.
And just to chime in that from the lender side, I mean, we expect the house to be, safe, secure,
Mhm.
sanitary, so.
Well, does-
I don't
does-
think a house is safe. It's 98 degrees outside and then 102 on the inside, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's a fact.
Get your electrical, if your house was built in 1979 or 1969, you at some point should have upgraded your entire electrical system. Because number one.
Well, we
Yeah.
just updated our bathroom back in 1997. And I've got the big 12 by 12 tiles and I've got the brown walls or whatever. I mean, what's wrong with that? It still looks brand new.
Again, I would say, a couple
Yeah.
things. I would say, well, let's look at the numbers. And number two, I would ask my seller, I say, why don't you, in your free time, do me a favor, go ride around and look at some open houses or model homes, and you'll see the upgrades and the updates that people are doing to get their homes sold.
You had a good point.
Yes.
Buyers are looking at model homes or comparing your home to that and or HGTV. Let's be real. They see that. They're already paying a significant amount to buy now. We know values are up. They don't want to go in and do repairs. And a lot of times, and I will use myself as an example, when our first home, it was a foreclosure. We did things, we fixed it up, but we didn't do all the things that I wanted to enjoy. However, when we got ready to sell, needless to say, there went the paint, there went the new appliances, the flooring, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, we did all of this to sell the house. I never got to enjoy it. However, it's necessary because, like you said, they're comparing us and they're looking at what's out there. Nobody wants to walk in and have to add more money because all that's going to do is depreciate.
And then
your
when
home.
you see a seller like that, I've heard it, I got to do all this stuff and I'm not going to get to enjoy it. And I say, well, let's take it back. Let's go back. Let's think about why you're moving. You're moving because you want a nice new master suite or primary suite. You want the luxury kitchen. Your why has to be stronger than that.
Absolutely.
The second to last letter of the alphabet, you have to know your why.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's interesting that y'all spin off to that. We got about 4 minutes left.
Yeah, and we
before
got another
close out.
question after you answer. We'll say what you
Yeah,
said.
so speaking of, you're right. You do all these things, you don't get to actually enjoy it, but you have to look at it as an investment.
Period.
An investment in your future. So we were talking about, why home ownership. And I said the average American will get their wealth through that. But you guys probably are not the average that are watching. I'm sure we have a tight audience. Add this into your thought process. 90% of all millionaires became so through owning real estate. So we have to start somewhere. So if you're not average, just know that, there has to be part of the portfolio. And that is a quote from Andrew Carnegie. Okay, so I'm not over here
Think and
making
grow
up stuff.
Think and grow rich.
Yeah, so Think and Grow Rich, definitely. So I just think of, so this was good. And then you also have to think of those things that you all talked about. We were talking about it here, and like I said, we have receipts. We're not just up here with the fake news. Year over year, Prince William County real estate is up. How much, Nikita? 2.9%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah,
In Virginia, in the state.
in the state of
In the state of
Virginia,
Virginia.
in the state of Virginia.
Yeah.
So what happens many times is why we need to have these type of shows and broadcasts is that they're reporting from a national perspective.
Yes.
And we are special. We live in a special area.
We
The
really do.
DMV is a special area. And what's
Absolutely.
happening nationally does not really mean that that is what's happening locally.
Mhm.
And then I will take it all the way down
Get
to
granular.
super local,
Mhm.
right?
Your
Like what's
community.
happening in Southbridge might not be happening in Dale City,
That's right.
right? So you need to be
Or
able to
Alexandria.
get the real information, or Alexandria,
Yeah.
or over in Prince George's County, even though it seems like it's right across the bridge. So
Right.
that's the reason that we want to bring this show to cut through the clutter. We appreciate you all tuning in this morning. Please, like, share.
And comment.
Yeah.
And if you have some
Comment.
questions you want us to share with next week, okay, we got two quick
We
questions.
do, okay.
All right, so are buyers looking for closing costs in today's market? They're looking for it in every market, but the question is, I would say, are they getting it in today's market?
Say the buyers always ask.
They always want something. That's true.
Yes, they're asking for it, but actually getting it is a little bit harder because we are truly in a seller's market. And
Supply and demand.
I will say to the buyers that have been out there, kudos to you for being resilient.
Yes.
It's been, a crazy
Stay in the
market, and
fight.
you've had to,
Mhm.
give up your firstborn or tap into your 401k or whatever it is to get to the other side. I still think you're going to win in the end, as far as
Mhm.
long game. So yes, they're asking for closing costs. We don't have very many contracts that are coming back with us
Mhm.
that are actually receiving them though.
Yeah.
So it's all about having a plan.
Here's another great question. Stephanie, thank you, Sherelle. Sherelle's been one of our big contributors this morning. Thank you. Stephanie Flowers, thank you. She says, what are the best ways to finance upgrading your home to enjoy it now? Maybe change one's mind about selling, buying new. You want to answer that one?
Well,
What are the
since
best
the
ways?
question is finance,
It is. You'll start there.
I will chime in
To enjoy.
to enjoy it now.
Correct.
So what we're actually seeing is a lot of people are figuring out ways to do that, Stephanie. And
I know of one program.
you know of a
Yeah,
program?
there is a program that, it's really designed for people who want to sell their home, where they'll come in, they'll fix up your home or upgrade it totally. And if you decide afterwards that you don't want to sell it, they will give you a year
Mhm.
to pay back the money.
Is that
for
Kirby?
the- Yes.
Oh, that's pretty
Kirby.
good. So it's like that. What's that show on HGTV? Y'all favorite show, Listed or?
Listen,
Yeah,
love it.
Love it. So you got a whole other listed
Yeah.
scenario right there. So
That's it.
that's one way the program, they said. I think that what we're seeing people do, and I don't know that this is the most efficient way, but credit card debt though is up to an all-time high right now. Because people have financed the things into their home to just make it better so they can go ahead and stay and enjoy it now. The other way to do that I would recommend
Eli?
is a home equity line of
HELOC.
credit. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
so smart.
I was thinking.
I love it.
Well, I hang out with you later.
That's right. Would be something to look into because equity is great, but I don't know that it's great if you're not leveraging it. Right? So equity line of credit, again, that's something to check in
Exactly.
with the credit union per se. So you keep your bulk mortgage.
Yeah.
That's probably under 4% since 70.7% have rates under 4. So you keep your low rate and you look into taking the equity line to maybe finance some of those repairs, Stephanie. So hope that answer helps.
To that point, I was asked this question.
Sure.
If someone gets a HELOC, say Stephanie decides, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get that home equity line of credit. That's what the HELOC stands for.
Mhm.
Can you write that off? There's closing costs, right? When you get that HELOC, there's some expenses attached to that. You're not refinancing your house, like Marquita, I believe you said that, but nonetheless, there are expenses to getting it. Is that tax deductible on your HELOC versus, like if you were refinance?
So I am affectionately known as a queen of mortgages and not a tax professional. So I am going to elect to not answer because I don't know. We
Sorry.
can have a tax.
And it's a good question because I seriously was answered that.
You can make the fake news for me
No,
today.
we're not doing that. Appreciate that. Good call. There you go. We'll have a tax professional come in. So we need to step in. Y'all stay tuned for that.
Three people are
Yeah.
scared of.
Yeah.
The IRS, those three people scared of.
Yeah, ooh, all
So,
three.
yeah, so I'm definitely not even gonna say anything.
Anything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
Get uncle to family member.
Whatever.
A couple more questions, and we're gonna shut it down.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right, are foreclosures a thing of the past, and do you still see them happening in this area? No, they're not a thing of the past, but they're not the way we experienced them back in 07, 08, et cetera. No, you unfortunately and sadly, people do still have hardships. And you would think that would be another thing, reason why you don't see as many, and help me if I'm wrong here, is because people actually have equity in their houses. Like we said, now we see more people with value. I mean, they've appreciated. Even the ugliest house has accumulated equity or value. So they're not as plentiful. And then the next question or the last question. Oh, yeah, please.
So,
Yeah, please.
Alan's probably asking that question because of the fake news. Like
Ooh.
one of the headlines was that
Ooh.
foreclosures were on a rise, that they were
Oh,
up
yeah.
100% year over year.
Mm.
That was on the
Yeah.
So we need a soundboard. So yeah,
Yes.
but in context, that is actually true. Like the foreclosure are up 100%, but can I finish?
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Shut up. Ahead and tell them.
Look, I'm still your shine.
Yeah.
It's because what? It was a moratorium on foreclosures for the last 2 years during the pandemic. So you couldn't foreclose if you wanted to. So you had people that were already delinquent
Yeah.
before the
That's
pandemic.
true.
And then for 2 years, you could do nothing.
That's right.
So of course, the banks still want their money. They still want their house. So they came back out once the moratorium was lifted, and they started to do foreclosures. So technically,
Yeah.
it's not fake news,
Necessarily.
because
Well, we're cutting the clutter though. We're trying to get the weeds out so we give you the facts.
100% because they went and finished what they had
All
started,
right.
Somebody's foreclosure, he's just not really educated.
No.
or they just already were far in a hole. Like I'm gonna say,
Do a short sale.
they probably, and that's why you reach out to a real estate
A
professional.
professional.
Is how rich, equity rich is America right now? The last number I seen was in the trillions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, about
Oh, yeah.
4.4
Oh, yeah.
trillion in equity in the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
country.
Yes.
Right, so you really, if you run into a hardship, and we don't want any family to have to relocate, but more than anything, I don't want any family to lose their equity position.
No,
Yeah,
no.
Get with a realtor, short sale, whatever. So yeah, foreclosures are up, but for that reason. So
Yeah.
there's a huge.
All right, we got two last questions.
We do, okay.
Okay, I want to buy a house. Thank you, Christian. I want to buy, but interest rates are so high. So what should I do? I have a house, but I want to move to a bigger house. We just kind of answered that sort of.
A plan,
Yeah.
and I don't know that higher interest rates should be the reason why you're not moving forward, because as we talked about earlier, their
That was
predictions,
kind of at the beginning.
but the predictions are that rates will get in the low sixes, maybe high fives in 2024. And when that happens, all the people like you are going to be sitting on the sideline are going to come out. So now you're going to have more competition, and we're not going to fix our inventory problem overnight. America's been
It's gonna be
underbuilt
like that
for
for a
about
while.
12 years.
And what happens is when you wait, if you are in a position where you sell a house and you have that equity,
Yeah,
you're gonna have to when it was back during the pandemic, I saw people just giving 50, 60, up to $100,000 of their money just to get
back
just to
into
get
the
a
next
house,
price,
just to
in the
get
next
a nice
property.
piece.
Yeah,
That's waiving everything. So now is actually a better time
to
to
consider
get
it.
in,
Yeah,
to
you
consider
really want to
selling.
move.
Yeah.
And like we said earlier too, we do know that prices are not going down. So the longer you wait, it's not that the values are going to stay where they are. They're definitely going up. And then here's the last question. I hope
All
that
right.
helped. Sylvia asked, any advice on flipping a house? It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time.
Well, if you can find something that you can flip, it's still a good investment tools to get into, but the key is finding that property, really knowing your numbers, because don't get stuck out there finding a property that takes longer to sell, or the repairs come in more than what you had budgeted for, and then you end up coming out of pocket. So I have a lot of investors coming. So just being good at finding distressed properties, that's really going to be your key to flipping.
Right. And keeping, you said the very beginning was know the numbers. That's key right there. Don't fall in love with a house or an area and the numbers don't make sense, because that will hurt you in the long run. And that's how we end up with, foreclosures or whatever. You just become over, you're strapped. There are not that many out there, but there are some, and there's ways that, we kind of like, you were talking about the off market, or trying to find you've got to find that diamond in the rough, so to speak, and what I mean by that is a good opportunity.
Or if you're interested in, not this area, look in other areas. Don't be afraid to branch outside of your local area and explore, opportunities in the flipping area.
Yeah. Love you, Trina. I'm going to say this is the last question, but no, sweetheart, Christine, that is not a silly question. No, that's the benefit of owning a mortgage. Now, Christine's question was, renting an apartment, do the mortgage increase annually? No, that is the beauty, unless, okay, let me shut up, because you know what, I don't wear the queen of mortgage crown, so we'll pass that on. I was gonna say that most likely, most people, if you're into a fixed rate mortgage, your principal and your interest payments do not increase. Your payment is made up of 4 parts: principal, interest, taxes, insurance. Taxes and insurance could vary. Depend. I'm not going to get too deep because I'm feeling like I'm all in her lane now.
No.
However, if you get that adjustable rate, right. So
this is the unknown. Insurance.
Insurance.
So
right.
yeah. So the principal and interest, like you said, if you get a fixed rate, are fixed for the term of the loan. But these taxes and insurance are likely to change. And I was mad. I ain't gonna lie. I was ready to call myself about my own loan. When I got my escrow analysis, that my taxes, it wasn't really actually the taxes. So even though we had 2.9% appreciation in the market, the assessment went up some, maybe $100 more year to year. So I was like, yes. But I looked at it at insurance. I said, Liberty Mutual, the devil is a lie. They had went up on the renewal for the insurance. So what happens is you have a re-evaluation of your escrow account. So literally it went up double.
Yeah.
And they did. So it changed my monthly payment unless I wanted to pay the shortage out of pocket. But y'all know what I did. I said, buy Liberty Mutual. Like, you only pay for what you want. Well, I don't want this. So
exactly.
And also just real quick that, when we have natural disasters, it affects our insurance.
Overall,
it impacts all of us.
So and claims on your house too. So, but that's another story for another day. I think we've got
claims.
Today.
Thank you all so much, everybody who joined us. I know we started a little late and we may have kind of gone over a little, but that's what happens when you're hanging out with good friends, right? No, we kind of we get together, and next thing you know, you're ready to go, and it goes beyond. And we appreciate you all. We'd like to thank you for joining us. We hope a lot of you are friends. We thank you for your support. I love you, Stephanie. Yes, ma'am.
Just make sure you can always send us on a DM or a message if you want us to address it on the next. So
and so we're not going to overwhelm y'all every week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. So the 23rd. Is it the 23rd?
It is
in 2 weeks. Also happening on the 23rd. For those of you who are local in the DMV, if you like me, we talk about cutting through the clutter. I'm in trying with paper. So the Queen of Mortgage and I, and this lady's going to be traveling, but we're going to be doing, we're hosting a shredding event. It's going to be in the Southbridge, at the Southbridge Community Center on the 23rd. So that's a week after next, Saturday after next, between 10 and noon. There will be a shredding truck there. So come on out with your boxes and get in line, get in line.
Yeah, cut through the
Cut through the
clutter.
clutter. Let's clean your house up for the fall, so it'll be ready for, family and guests, if y'all gonna entertain this year, whatever, just your own peace of mind, like me, because I'm cutting through the clutter. I'm getting rid of all of that junk. So it's gonna be on River Heritage. We've been posting it on our pages. So I can't, I don't have the address, but it is the Southbridge Community Center right there on the corner of River Ridge and River Heritage in Dumfries, Virginia. And again, DM us if you need the address, if you don't see the flyer, but it's going to be on the 23rd from 10 to 12, and come out and meet us. The other Keita won't be with us, but she will be in spirit, and we will be back 9:30 on the 23rd, and she will be with us. Thank God for virtual social media, whatever. So anything else, guys? And leave your comments, your thoughts. Any parting words from
Thank you.
And
Keita?
cuts.
Yeah. Figure out how to cut this. All right, we're going off. Bye. Thank y'all. Thank you. This is it.
Shuffle songs by Anita Baker.
Was this to me?
So Alexa said, I don't want to hear anything. Oh, God, better not do that, Facebook.
That's a play. I'm cutting it off. I'm just going to X.
You got to end the meeting.
I got to end the meeting. I'm going back to the meeting.
Yeah.
I got to go to the meeting.
Well, this is just all kind of B-roll.
This is all of the above. Thank y'all.
Yes. Bye.